a distributive property is just like it says, to distribute. What does it mean to distribute? Anybody? Kind of a long word. Distribute means what, Peter?
Take away.
No, not distribute. If I had candy and I distribute it to everybody, what does that mean, Eli? Okay, you hand out to each person individually. Kind of hand out individually. Hand out individually. And that's helpful to remember when you see a problem like this, because the book will give you something that looks like this. 25 times 10 plus 2. And this is more just so you know than really something we probably use a lot of right now. When you see a problem that looks like this, you can do this two ways. Okay? You can either add those two things together and take 25 times 12. Let's do that problem real fast. I get 50, bring down a 0, 25. I get 300. That's one way to do it. Or the other way is using the distributive property, which says I can do this like this. I can distribute this out and take 25 times 10, get my answer, and then add that to what 25 times 2 is, which is really the same thing that we actually just did. And I add those two together. 250 plus 50 is 300. Okay, but this shows the distributive property because I distributed this 25 out to each thing like I was handing it out. Okay, but since it was in parentheses, I can also add it together and multiply, or I can multiply each one separately and then add it together. So just so you have an example of the distributive property, because they will ask you to do something both ways. This is a big thing, by the way, in 7th grade math. Yeah, because, well, not necessarily easier, but when we start dealing with letters instead of numbers at times, we use a lot of the distributive property.
What's letters? Like x plus y equals